welcome to the 1993 World Championships in Germany. I'm Richard Beaupre with Eurosport coverage on day 7 of the competition. Tonight's game is from Dortmund, Group B action with the USA taking on the Norwegians. The Americans have put together a strong team with a hard-working approach to the game, whereas the Norwegians are yet to gain a point and yet to score a goal after 3 matches. The USA are getting set to continue in the competition within the top 4 of Group B, and the Norwegians look doomed at this point to the relegation side. Jim Martinson is an excellent goalie. The Norwegians have played well defensively, so with the right break, you never know. There are 3 periods of hockey to come. The opening face-off has been dropped, and Norway have the first touch. The Americans in blue playing from right to left, the Norwegians in white playing from left to right. Martinson forced to make a save right off the bat. That's Skistad. I apologize, the starting goaltenders have been changed. Robert Skistad getting the nod for Norway. Martinson was out there earlier with his mask on and skating around. I don't know if this is a last-minute decision. Robert Skistad, who's had 1 game under his belt in this competition, is given the start. All indications in the starting lineup originally had said Martinson, but it's Skistad, the 26-year-old. The Americans have used Mike Dunham, Mike Richter, Patrick Jablonski jumped on the ice for a quick shift while Richter made an equipment adjustment in their last game. Face off in the Norwegian zone, big shot taken from Gaudreau. Norway very sloppy trying to get the puck out. Modano will keep it in. Karlstad runs into trouble. That's given off to Gunderson. Now the Norwegians clear the zone. The Americans going back. Hatcher. Darian Hatcher moves the puck over to Adam Burt. Adam Burt runs into trouble. He goes back to Darian Hatcher. Hatcher being watched by Biltbaum. Biltbaum all over him. Burt backhands that up into the crowd. The faceoff will stay in USA territory. Skistad between the pipes. Petter Stalsted, old reliable veteran defenseman for Norway. Karlstad, a good hitter. Jakobsen moves the puck well. Gearhoff, prolific goal scorer up front. They've got plenty of guys who can do the work. Torresen is a great forechecker. Roy Johansson, voted the player of the tournament in the Telecup that was played last fall in Norway. Marius Rath, number 37, he's one to watch out for. But the Norwegians really need to start getting something going offensively. In 3 games, they haven't scored a goal yet. They've conceded 10 and need a few statistics in the goal-scoring charts. Trouble along the boards for Olsen. 3 Americans in there to help out. Lazaro throws a punch into the back of the head of Jakobsen. This is where things can normally get a bit physical when the puck is between skates and the referee yells play on, play on. It usually means an extra shot here or there for somebody to get hit from behind or punched or whatever. On the move, Amonte down the left side. He's pulled down. The referee says no penalty, and action continues. Sogard rips that around the boards. Richards, Travis Richards. Richards to the blue. He dumps it in and stays at the blue line. Nold was all over him. Jakobsen runs into trouble with Craig Johnson. Norwegians will clear the zone now. Good move on the right side. Left-hand shot. It's Christensen running out of room. Shot being taken by Gunderson. That goes into no man's land. And Ted Drury pushes the puck forward. Derek Plant taken out of the play nicely along the boards by Jakobsen. The Americans right in front with an opportunity. Oh, just a bad bounce for Ted Drury. Couldn't find the handle on the puck. Salston back there to help. Skistad wondering when the puck was going to get to him. It never did. That's deflected onto an American stick. It's Drury again with a shot. Trying to put the puck through the pads of Skistad. But Skistad wins, and the face-off will be to Skistad's left. best A pool finish for Norway in their history is 1951 with a 4th place finish. Marius Raff. Raff leaves it behind the goal. Goes up the right side. Americans with 1 man on the forecheck. Puck goes back to Raff. He's taken out nicely by Robert Beers. And Eric Weinrich starts it up. Weinrich on the left wing to Modano. Modano can't do much with it. Weinrich goes up front. Big shot taken. Skistad very alertly gloves that. Shot from Eddie Olczyk. Olczyk, the captain of this U.S. team. Plenty of experience, a good mix of youth and age with the American side. Tim Taylor's got American pros and college kids. A lot of action to continue here on Eurosport. Earlier in Group A competition, the Swedes handing the Russians a defeat 5-2. The Czechs knocking off the French 6-2 in Group B, a game played here in Dortmund earlier. Gunderson skating circles, elects to drop it off to the defense. Pass in the middle, 2 Norwegians come together. Finding it tough to get out. We've got to get the legs moving. Held in easily at the blue line. Modano looking for Turcotte. 3 Norwegians forward, the pick set up. Modano can't get to the man with the puck. Big wind-up shot taken by Dahlstrom. Good hip check by Turcotte, and Olczyk has the puck. Olczyk finds himself surrounded by white shirts and is turned right around by Norway again. A good shot there. Jablonski hasn't had much action, but had to come up with a big save. Jablonski played at the start of this season with St. Louis and ended up in Tampa Bay. The 25-year-old has had a lot of action. Tampa Bay being a new team in the NHL, they certainly took their lumps, but did well for their first season. That save being made by Skistad at the other end of the rink off Mike Modano's stick. Both teams will change up. Mike Modano, Minnesota North Star player, 22 years old, 6'3", 190 pounds, certainly has the wheels. For a guy his size, he can motor. Norwegians win the draw and clear the zone quite nicely, coming up to the red line. That's up to the blue line, rather. That's not very nice. Olsen falls and puts everybody offside. 15 minutes and 13 seconds to play in the first period. No score yet. The Americans in 3 games have got a win and 2 draws. The draws being against the Finns and the Czechs. They've scored 8 goals. They've had 3 scored against them. 4 points so far. The one concern for the Americans is that the goal scorers have got to start coming to the rink. They've got plenty of firepower. Bert in from his defensive spot. Can't beat Skistad, and Norway clear. 4 Norwegians forward. Oh, that's unfortunate. Salston going down all the way. Player offside. Also a penalty being called as he was helped offside. Action coming at Skistad. Salston can't get a touch on the pass. Anderson is beaten in front. Bert, who slipped up from his defensive position, just failed to beat Robert Skistad. Support from the Norwegians, trying to spur their team on into their first victory or draw, just something to get them on the points chart. They've got a power play for 2 minutes as Podine sits in the penalty box. Brought in by Anderson. Anderson leaves at the hash marks. Anderson trying to pick Hauer out. That isn't going to happen. Hauer's twice his size. Salston moves it to the left side. Shot taken. Jablonski's right there. Holds it in the glove as he doesn't like what he sees. Anderson having to go in front of the net. Jeff Lazaro shoving him back. I assure you that is not an advert for a cosmetic company. That cut is real, and that is definitely bruising over the eye of Sean Podine. Podine, 12 goals and 6 assists with Edmonton in the National Hockey League this year. 6'2", 200 plus pounds. Likes to throw his weight around. Has played very well on the line with Doug Waite. Waite and Gaudreau really been putting the pressure on anybody they face. Gaudreau is very high in the scoring. Box being set up by the Americans. Salston doesn't make much of that, and the Americans clear the zone. Norwegians really don't have much of an offense. A couple of guys that can put the puck in the net. They play a stingy game on defense, but they're just sort of hoping and praying for the right bounce. It hasn't happened for them yet. Gunderson starting out. He leaves and goes up the left side. Gunderson gets it back, lays it back to the point. That's Jakobsen. Jakobsen throws it behind the goal. Ian Morin takes his player out, and the Americans get it only as far as the blue line. Jakobsen fans on his shot. All alone in front of the goal is Noel. Jablonski right on top of the play. Wasn't a difficult one for him, but he was forced to cover it up for a face-off. Jakobsen fanning on his shot. Norwegian left all alone by the side of the goal. Nold on the other side. Gunderson on the far side. Nold on the near side to get it correct. This puck coming just to the stick of Jablonski, and he holds on for a face-off. Americans will take their time. Norwegians need 2 men on the puck. Bob Beers fires it all the way down. Skistad comes out of his net and leaves it for Johansson. Ed Olczyk up front for the U.S. Podine out of the penalty box. Both teams at full strength. Gunderson on his own. Muscling everybody off. Throws it back to the point. Jakobsen, the puck and his stick both go toward the goaltender. Jablonski isn't fooled by either one. Bob Beers overskates it, then grabs it. Beers trying a pass up the middle. That's nearly cut off for a breakaway. It ends up in neutral territory. Dahlstrom loses out. Dahlstrom going for the puck again. Beers is going after him. Beers pushes the puck into the corner. Modano waiting to see what's going to happen. Now Modano steps in. Mike Modano with the puck coming up the left side. Petter Salston to the far side, dumped in. Only as far as Eric Weinrich. Weinrich quickly to Beers. Beers moves it ahead to Modano. Modano ahead. Doug Waite. Waite with a good move, leaning on the defenseman. Can't cut in though. Good play by Salston. Waite looking for someone in the slot. Burt was coming up from his defensive position again, but that pass doesn't come, and Bob Gaudreau goes back. Gaudreau, Waite, and Modano out on the line at the moment. Shot is fake. Well behind Gaudreau, and the Norwegians will get it out. Burt to Modano. Modano with a good head of steam on his off wing. Lovely pass for Doug Waite. Oh, good save by Skistad. Waite trying to just deflect the puck past Skistad, but he was right on top of it. Doug Waite, who plays his ice hockey in Edmonton now, started the season with the Rangers, but was traded for Esa Tikkanen. A lot of people questioning who got the better end of that trade. You judge it for yourself. This guy certainly isn't any slouch. Tikkanen has a big name. Doug Waite has done good things so far in this tournament, and is certainly a solid hockey player. Skistad narrowly escapes. 0-0 the score in case you've just joined us. USA and Norway. Skistad with a nice stick save. Karlstad clears the puck out. The Americans will go back. Icing waved off. Richards. Slow build up from the Americans. Wingers starting to curl and get ahead of steam going. Amonte into the middle. Freewheeling Tony Amonte, another New York Ranger player. The Rangers knocked out of playoff action before they ever got into it. Right at the close of the regular season, they were nudged out by the Islanders and New Jersey for the final playoff spot, thus allowing a few of the Rangers to make their way over to Germany. Both teams completing line changes. Norwegians in their fourth game in this competition, losing the first one 6-0 to Germany. Their second game to the Czechs 2-0, and then a 2-0 loss to the Finns. That game went a long time without a goal. The Finns, prior to coming into the game, expected to roll right over the top of the Norwegians. That didn't happen. With the Olympics coming up in Lillehammer in '94, the Norwegians have got to be concerned about their play. Going back for the puck, Salston. Henderson back off the boards, too far for Salston. The Americans building it up towards Skistad's goal. Throw the puck in. Gunderson goes back. Gunderson up the left wing. That's off Gearhoff. He can't get to it. Ian Morin. Morin elects to come around to the left side. Derek Plant having trouble. Loses his helmet but continues on. Craig Johnson. Johnson to Plant. Back to Johnson off a Norwegian stick. The Norwegians doing exactly what they did against the Finns and the Czechs, stacking the blue line right up, always keeping at least 4 players back and making it difficult for the teams to come at them. Nice little move there. 14. Sogard calling for the puck. It comes to him. But nothing happens, and the Americans have possession of the puck. Weinrich up on the right side of Modano. Modano to Turcotte. Turcotte over the blue line, 2-on-2 with Olczyk. His shot goes just wide. Olczyk on the rebound. Skistad made the save, and it's right back out of the zone. Beers. Bob Beers. Weinrich off the boards. Olczyk overskates it, and Olsen has the puck. Olsen throws it in and takes a big hit from Mike Modano. Bob Beers will try it again. He loses out. Good opportunity there, but Torresen couldn't find the handle. Torresen again looking around. Noel, the first goal goes to Norway. Well done. It's about time. It's a long time since they've scored. They haven't had anything in this competition yet. And finally their first goal. Totally unbiased, being American born, but I say well done to Norway. Finally, they've got their first goal. Torresen fighting with Bob Beers for the puck. Torresen gets help. Dahlstrom gets in there. Christensen has a poke. Puck is overskated by everybody. Now a good move to the outside. Players going for the goal. The pass comes across. Weinrich can't touch anybody, and Norway have their first goal. 8:15 to play in the first period. 1-0 for Norway. Norwegians break out. Possibly that goal is going to lift their spirits. Marius Rath trying it on, puts himself offside. Sogard followed up. The faceoff will come back out of U.S. territory. Well, every game they've come into, they've been underdogs, but the Norwegians are out to prove a point against everybody. The media, the public, their own supporters even, questioning whether they'd win this game. They haven't won it yet, but they've jumped out into a 1-goal lead. Certainly got to build the confidence of every player on the bench. Amonte making a swing. He eventually gets the pass from Sacco. Amonte with a shot. Good save from Skistad. Quickly the Norwegians clear. Howard throws the puck forward to Monte. 1-on-2. Monte taking the defense on. Good play. And back out of the zone. Richter. Richter's pass is off a stick. Gunderson goes for it. He can't come up with it, but the defense do. Jan Karlstad. Karlstad, his long pass ends up with Noel. Noel throws it back. That ends up with Biltbaum. Hit thrown right at the red line by Weinrich. Weinrich goes back to cover up. Weinrich on the defense with Hauer. Weinrich lays it back. Modano on the move. Mike Modano coming forward. Right at the blue line. Shot coming from Turcotte. That's high and wide. Ed Olczyk fighting in the corner. Turcotte goes to help out. Christensen throws it around and Norway break out again. They're certainly skating better out of their own zone than they have in their previous 3 games. Gear Hoff with a nice spin around, then he steps on Beer's stick and falls. Shot deflected, trickles wide of the goal. And Modano headmans the puck. Modano to Olczyk. Olczyk taken out right at the red line by Petter Salston. Anderson throws it back into American territory. Heavy hit on Olsen along the boards by Weinrich. Olsen has the puck back. Olsen with a turnaround. He shoots. Good save made by Jablonski. Hard shot right on the ice. The goal has certainly lifted the spirits. The Norwegian supporters, they're in numbers and they're loud. Weinrich fighting along the boards. Turcotte's in there, having a rough time with Christensen. Christensen doing a good job for the Norwegians. Hoff can't make much of that. The U.S. dump it out slowly and go for a change. Quickly fired across by Jakobsen. That shot's off a shin pad. The Americans have possession. Not a good pass from Waite. Norway will recover. Jakobsen off the boards. That's too far for his players and the Americans. Gaudreau with a shot just wide. 3 Americans caught in deep. 3-on-2 for Norway, but they put themselves off sides. Gaudreau hustling to get back into the play, as was Doug Waite. Early going, but it's 1-0 Norway over the USA. Line change at the last minute for the U.S. Gaudreau, Podine, and Waite go off the ice. Richter headmans that. Richter gets the return pass. Cut off right at the blue line. The Americans look sloppy, not playing very well in this first period. The passes aren't crisp. They really aren't getting the chances on Skistad. A lot of hockey to play. We're in the first period. This Pool B competition in Dortmund. Sacco lays it across nicely. Bad bounce for Brett Hauer as he was on his way to the goal. Karlstad in trouble. Regains the puck and throws it on the boards. Winger right there waiting for it. 3-on-3. Nicely taken out of the play by Hauer as Marius Rath. Then Hauer slips and falls, and everybody in the building gets a kick out of that one. Anderson across. Gunderson throws it out of trouble. Hauer goes back. Hauer's pass is a lazy one. That's off a skate, and the Norwegians keep possession. 3.5 minutes left to play in the first period. Plant directs the puck forward, and the Americans on the move. 3-on-3. Good back checking from the Norwegians. Strips the American on that play. And Travis Richards will try it again. Richards throws the puck forward to Johnson. Johnson's got to wait for his players to get onside. Johnson with a good spin. Now the puck goes over the blue line, and Johnson has it back. Craig Johnson doing a lot of work for the Americans. Derek Plant and Ted Drury, his line mates. Drury with the puck now. Drury throws it right back into Plant, who's probably saying thank you very much. He just fought his man off once, and the puck came right back to him again. Lazy play by Skistad almost cost him. Robert Skistad a bit nonchalant with that opportunity. Tried to play defenseman and clear the puck himself, fanned on it, and ended up scrambling to cover the puck up. Derek Plant trying to work his way around Anderson. Skistad nearly costing himself a goal. A lot of action to come here on Eurosport. Play will continue till May the 2nd, when we'll have a '93 world champion. From the draw, the Norwegians have possession off the boards, but not out. Turcotte working hard to keep it in. Now the Norwegians clear. Olsen on the right wing. Throws a puck across. Dahlstrom directs it to the goal. And Olczyk moves the puck forward. Weinrich is spun around right at the blue line. Turcotte with the puck. Everybody screaming for an offside. That doesn't happen. Olczyk was wide open in front of the goal. The puck went just wide. Big shot from Jakobsen. That's wide of the goal. Weinrich will go over to play his man, and he does. Rath overskates the puck. Bob Beers will take his time. Now the pass up the left side to Turcotte. Turcotte for Ed Olczyk. Olczyk with one move as he's trying to split the defense. Directs the puck to Skistad. Not a difficult one for him, and we'll have a face-off to the left of Skistad. Ed Olczyk trying to take the defense on by himself. He doesn't make it, but the puck does. Waite, Podine, and Gaudreau up front for the Americans. Waite wins the draw, but Darian Hatcher is unable to keep it in. Hatcher leaves it for Gaudreau. Gaudreau, that's too far for Burt, who was out of position, and Burt has to go back. Adam Burt to Darian Hatcher. Hatcher evades Marius Rath and pulls the puck forward. Gaudreau with a good move. He goes into the boards heavily. Rath again watching Darian Hatcher. Americans yelling all kinds of abuse at the linesman for blowing the whistle. Gaudreau, who went into the boards heavily seconds earlier, now has 2 minutes to sit down in the penalty box. After 3 games, Gaudreau, Wade, and Podine, the leading scorers for the Americans. Gaudreau with 2 goals and 3 assists for 5 points in 3 games. Away from the puck, Gaudreau taking exception to the way he was put into the boards. Retaliated with a slash. And now the Norwegians have the power play for another minute and 33 seconds. Podine gets it out, but just over the blue line. Johansson and Christensen fighting to keep it in. Dahlstrom throws that in baseball style. Jablonski makes the catch and holds on. The score, Norway over the USA. Norwegians not taking any of these games lighthearted, play with a lot of guts, and what they lack in talent, they'll certainly make up for with their work. Olczyk will take his time and drive that one down the ice. The Norwegians will have to go back and start it up again. Anderson, 1 second. He isn't even going to make an attempt. There's the buzzer for the end of the first period. Dortmund, 20 minutes have expired. The net is off its moorings. They're allowing the teams to continue. We've just started the second period. The Americans trailing 1-0 to the Norwegians. 32 seconds left on the American penalty. Bob Gaudreau in the penalty box for slashing. First Norwegian goal of the game and the first Norwegian goal of the 93 World Games. Coming in the first period from Norstebo, number 15. Shots on goal favoring the Americans in the first period, 13-4. The Norwegians with 2 very solid goaltenders and veteran Jim Martinson and Robert Skistad. These 2 guys have certainly seen their share of the action. Norwegians starting it up. Power play time is running down for them. Rath can't do anything with that. The Americans fired around the boards. Anderson lays the puck down low, overskated. Weinrich to Olczyk. Gaudreau back out of the penalty box. Anderson knocked off the puck by Olczyk. Turcotte with a big shot. Skistad makes the save. Turcotte giving a rough ride along the boards. Gaudreau in there to help him out. Gaudreau comes in high on Petter Salston. Turcotte comes away with the puck. Gets as far as number 23, Podine. Closes his hand on it, shaking his head that he didn't, but the linesman saying yes, and the faceoff will come outside the zone. Pass cut off right at center ice. Doug Waite fighting his man off. That was Karlstad. Karlstad playing it tough. Gets the puck out. Gerhard Hoff struggling along the boards. That ends up on the players' bench. And we'll have to do it again. Hockey action continuing on Eurosport. The Germans are well represented in the crowd for this game. They'll take on the Americans next, so they're sizing up the opposition. Speaking of size, get a look at this guy, Darian Hatcher. All 6'5" of him on the move. He loses out. Doug Waite is there. Waite with the puck. Quick shot by Hatcher. That doesn't find anything. The Americans struggle to go into the corner after it again. Heavily taken out of the play is Gaudreau by Karlstad. Karlstad and Gaudreau having another shot at each other. Karlstad slow to get up. Not sure where he was there for a minute. Shodin. Karlstad dumps the puck and takes a heavy hit along the boards. Both teams changing. Hatcher to the far side. Adam Burt. That's left for Doug Waite. Doug Waite slams on the brakes and retreats to the hash marks. Coming into the circle. Cheeky little move, but it doesn't fool Biltbaum. Biltbaum holding the puck. Olsen at the center red line fires it in. Jablonski in the goal, making the play, and the Americans started out again. Burt can't do anything. That shot taken. That's off the shoulder of Jablonski. The Norwegian player in the goal. He'll try and get out of there as Norway still have the puck. Kept it by Sogard. Close call for the Americans. Norwegians almost up by 2 on that shot. Now the Americans have moved. Oh, a close opportunity for Tony Amonte as he got the stick out. His momentum knocked Shistad into the goal. The net came off. That's why the whistle's blown. A nice feed ahead of him by Lazaro. Amonte getting the stick out. Just unable to connect on that one. Trying to take Shistad with him as he flies by the net. Good concentration by Tony Amonte as he had Kim Sogard all over him. Johansson loses the draw. Shot from the point. Anderson fires that out. Power going back for it. Icing is the call. Norwegians going to have to toughen up on the face-offs. A couple of times the Americans have won them cleanly and gotten big shots off from the point. Norwegians rated 11th out of the 12 teams in these games on face-off so far. They've won 42% of their draws. If you want to know the exact numbers, they've won 86 and lost 115, so get your calculator out. Norstebo lays that in slowly. Scorer of the only Norwegian goal. And the only goal in this game, that's the main thing. Passing still not very sharp by the Americans. Amonte lays that off. Lazaro in the slot. His shot goes just wide. Anderson being chased by Sacco. A nice pick set up allows Anderson to get away from him. Referee's arm in the air. We're going to have a penalty call. Things getting rough along the boards. Johansson and Richter having a good go at each other. Just as I mentioned, the passing not being very sharp from the Americans, Lazaro has fed a beautiful pass in the slot. His one-timer just whistles wide of the post.
Penalty against Norway, player number 17.
sorting out who they'll put on the ice. Interference, the call. Now the defense is set. The puck is dropped. Olczyk is knocked down, and the puck comes out of the zone. Interference, the call on per Christian Knoll. Slow build-up by the Americans. That's through the skates of Gaudreau. Modano goes back. Modano lays it off the boards. Eddie Olczyk. Olczyk to Weinrich. Weinrich's pass isn't a good one, looking for Turcotte. 15 minutes and 20 seconds left to play in the second period, and that is certainly not the way to get things going. Terrible pass there. The Norwegians clear. Weinrich to go back and collect. Weinrich with the puck. Weinrich being shadowed by Dahlstrom. Now Weinrich headmans. Turcotte fakes the shot. He goes for a skate, lays it back to the point. Weinrich lets that go through his skates as there was pressure on him. A good move by Weinrich. Modano forced to throw the puck back out over the zone. Gaudreau and Olczyk. Gaudreau throws it in. Amante in there quickly. Hit from behind. Eddie Olczyk down, and I don't think he's going to get up very quickly. Elbowing is the call. The Norwegians are going to have 2 men in the box. A bit of a cheap shot from behind, and Ed Olczyk is staying down. Monte fighting along the boards. Olczyk gets in there, and he is slammed down. Christensen gets out of there in a hurry, but he really doesn't need to run from anybody, as the player that he's hit isn't getting up. Pool A action taking place in Munich. We've got an update after the first period. Listen to this if you'd like. Canada 5, Italy 0. The Canadians are really starting to put it together. They are a force to be reckoned with. Eric Lindros and company with an 11-0 drubbing over the Austrians in their last outing, starting to really run the scores up. There's always talk about the Finns are missing this guy in the NHL, the Swedes are missing that guy. How about all the guys that the Canadians are leaving in the playoffs in the NHL? Things are getting rough. More action to come on Eurosport. The referee allowing Olczyk just to take his time, not trying to hurry him off the ice. The Norwegians with 2 men in the penalty box. Per Christian Knoll in there. And Christensen. 5-on-3, a great opportunity for the Americans. Puck moved back to the point. Shot is taken right into the glove of Robert Kistad. Modano let that rip. The Americans were all going to the front of the net for a rebound, but there wasn't going to be one. Norwegians in the 1992 competition just barely found themselves out of the way of relegation. That was due to a 1-0 win over the French in the preliminary round. That was all the points that they needed. The French went on to beat the Poles. The Poles were the team relegated. We already know that Great Britain are going to be rising to Pool A with their tremendous result in Eindhoven recently. 7 consecutive wins for them. A job well done by Great Britain. Americans still can't put anything past Kistad. Wait. Beers. Modano who moves back to the defensive spot on the power play. The Americans still can't get the right bounce. Sacco's pass went over the stick of Bob Beers. Modano again, down to Sacco. Pass goes across. This time Amante was wide open in front, but can't find the back of the net. Modano keeps the puck in, over to Bob Beers. The Norwegians have survived the first penalty. Now it's 5-on-4. Amante tries to pick the corner on the short side. That doesn't happen. And Beers has to come in. Beers laying it off. Amante going for the goal. He scores! That's a beauty. New York Rangers star Tony Amonte has the first American goal. This guy just never stops skating. Born in Hingham, Massachusetts. Great career at BU, short-lived as he jumped to the NHL. Watch this puck go upstairs. No time is wasted by Amonte, and the Americans have leveled the score. Now the Finns, yeah, let's not bring them into this. The Norwegians will be back at full strength. It was in the right part of the world anyway. They're both Scandinavian countries. Norwegians return Christensen back to the ice. Both teams at full strength. Wade and Beers get the assist. Now that Skistad's bubble has been burst, will the floodgates open? It's yet to be seen. A lot of hockey yet to play in this game. 1-1 the score, the Americans and Norwegians. Norstebo put the Norwegians in front in the first period. Amonte has struck to level the score for the Americans. Off in the Norwegian end of the ice. Draw won by the Norwegians. Sogard trying to get the puck out. He's half molested on the way. He's without a glove. The Americans have struck again. Well, Sogard trying to do the right thing, but taking the Americans on by himself probably wasn't the answer. Found himself in all kinds of trouble along the boards. Very quickly, the Americans have taken a 1-goal lead. Kept in at the blue line, the shot directed toward the goal. That's off one stick, and the last stick to touch it is Turcotte. He'll get credit. USA 2, Norway 1. Travis Richards just inside the blue line. See Sogard with one glove on. That isn't going to have anything to do with this. As the tip is there, and Turcotte has the goal.
Second goal, Team USA, scorer number 8, Darren Turcotte, assisted by number 10, Travis Richards.
Olczyk and Richards on the assist.
Time 27 minutes.
Well, how quickly things can turn around. Power play goal by Amonte. And then Turcotte very quickly makes it 2-1. Now the Norwegians could be in trouble. Olczyk pulling the net off its moorings, trying to get the quick jump to catch Torreson. The officials haven't been pleased with the way the nets keep coming off. 2 or 3 times already in Dortmund, we've seen the maintenance staff come out onto the ice and start drilling holes into the ice to try and make the nets stay in their place. There's got to be a happy medium. You don't want the nets glued down so they don't move at all. I've said this before, it certainly wasn't any fun in the old days when you'd run into a goal that had 6 or 8-inch steel pipes keeping it into the ice. You could hit it with a truck and it wouldn't move. But now you can see the concern by the officials is now the net seems to come off when some people breathe on it. Oh well, while they get that sorted out, teams will have a couple of minutes to collect their breath, get their thoughts together. 2-1 the score, goals from Amonte and Turcotte. This second period, the USA have jumped out into the lead. other action on day 7. Showing you highlights from Russia and Sweden. The Swedes establishing themselves with a convincing 5-2 victory over the Russians. The Swedes certainly look strong and will be heading into the final 4 of their group, looking to repeat themselves as the world champions. Winning it last year, an exciting tournament, and then Czechoslovakia, now the Czech Republic, winning the championship over Finland in the end. Play resumes and the pressure still on Skistad and company. Doug Waite moves it across, quick shot taken, Skistad is there. Gaudreau, Podine, and Waite on the fly again. The Norwegians seem to have stopped skating. The 2 goals has taken the wind out of their sails. Marius Rath trying a little bit of cheekiness. It doesn't work on Darian Hatcher. Hatcher has the puck. Hatcher leaves that off for Adam Burt. Burt says, you take it. Hatcher says, you take it. The 2 of them leave it, but fortunately they have the time, and Burt does go back to pick it up. Forward to Hatcher. Hatcher to Podine. The whistle is blown, and there are 10 guys on the ice asking the linesman as to why. The Americans change their line. The Norwegians change 1 or 2 players, and we'll get set for another face-off. Tomorrow is day 8 of the competition. And in Group B, the Finns will have a struggle on their hands with the Czechs. The USA, who are on the ice right now, and the Germans, who are in the crowd watching the USA, will go to battle. Big shot taken there by Gunderson. Patrick Jablonski with the save. Gunderson got all of that one. Other games to be played in Group A in Munich tomorrow will include the Swedes going up against the Swiss and the Russians taking on the Canadians. Everybody will be psyched for that game. The result of that should have some effect on the outcome of this tournament. The placings getting set for each group as we prepare for the final 4 to go through to the medal round. The bottom 2 from each group will play in the relegation round. Americans moving up the blue line. Karlstad stepping right up quickly on Lazaro, putting him down. The Norwegians clear the zone. Norway can't afford to go into that defensive shell that they've been displaying throughout their other 3 games. Karlstad takes a shot by Lazaro, and there isn't any way he's going to get up in a hurry. Whoa, what a hit from Lazaro. Lazaro's helmet is halfway back on his head. Karlstad's head is halfway up in the crowd. The action getting rough between the USA and Norway. Veteran defenseman Jan Karlstad counted to about 25 in about 3 different languages and elected to get up. It's a good sign he has gone to the right bench. Good call by the referee. We've seen it before in these games already, players getting hit from behind. That can be so dangerous. The officials have been told to clamp down on that, and they are all over the world. It's reassuring, especially for the smaller guys, when you're about my height and your teeth are just about level with the top of the boards half the time. It's no fun getting hit from behind. Roughing the call on Lazaro. Norway, with a valuable power play opportunity, could get themselves back into this and level the score. have certainly gone for a nap after taking a 1-goal lead. The Americans have bounced back with 2. Now Norway is really up against it. Waite lays that back to Hatcher. Back to Waite. Waite throws it up on the left side. Burt allows it to go back to Anderson. Anderson shadowed by Waite. Norway not very quick to come out. Podine allowed to get a shot off, but that goes wide. Jakobsen belted out of the play by Podine. Norwegians are going to have to pick it up a stride. Geir Hoff, this guy can do it. Hoff trying to muscle with Adam Burt. Burt is a very solid defenseman. You very seldom will see him get caught out. He's got 2 goals in this tournament, so has decent offensive ability as well. Plays his hockey with the Hartford Whalers. Got in Norway trying to get something set up. The shot coming from Christensen. That goes through a crowd wide of Jablonski's goal. Darian Hatcher chasing his man. Norwegians allowed to walk away with it. Lazaro's back out of the penalty box. Geir Hoff with the puck. Geir Hoff lays it back to the point. Shot from Christensen. Hatcher has been out there a long time. Moves the puck up to center ice and throws it in. Americans getting a change on the move. Norwegians started up with Jakobsen. Jakobsen's pass is too far for anybody. Jablonski has to play it. Eric Weinrich with the puck. Karlstad, who was just belted earlier by Lazaro, is back on the ice. Karlstad up to the blue line. A couple good moves from him as he elects to retreat. Nold can't come up with the puck. The Americans can't clear the zone. Good spin around there by Johansson. It's over to the far side. Petter Salston's trying to find the handle. He takes a bump from Olczyk. Puck bounces over Weinrich's stick, and Tony Amonte has it. Tony Amonte. He can go from first gear to fourth in a hurry. This time slams on the brakes. Dumps it off for Sacco. Sacco still has the puck. That shot blocked nicely by Sogard. Weinrich with a blast. Count the players in front of Skistad. I've got 7 of them. There's only 10 on the ice, and 2 of them are back on the blue line. 1 man chasing. That's what Skistad currently has to put up with. All kinds of traffic in front of him. Eric Weinrich letting rip. Skistad getting it right in the glove. Had to play Houdini around the people near him just to have a view of the puck. Norwegians must have heard me complaining about their face-off percentage. They've been winning the majority of them in their defensive zone in this period. Gaudreau can't come up with that, and Olsen does. Olsen, nice pick set up to take Turcotte out of the play, and Olsen stops and throws it over to the right wing. Modano pickpockets his man, but can't continue on with the puck. Now it's Hauer. Hauer to the blue line. Brett Hauer. Pass is too hard for Turcotte. All the way to the far side. Gaudreau looking in front for Modano. Anderson lifting his stick. Hauer directs it to the goal. Skistad not sure where it is. Neither was a linesman as he blew the whistle a bit prematurely. It won't matter. The face-off will come to the left of Robert Skistad. Skistad playing that like a shortstop on a baseball pitch. Keeping the puck in front of him. 2-1 the score, USA over the Norwegians. Just a friendly little chop between 2 old buddies. Nothing serious. Derek Plant having a go on the face-off. Norwegians win the draw once again. Well, for their next game, whether they win or lose this one, their face-off percentage is certainly going to rise. Marius Rath Rath spins around. This guy can score goals. Rath on the move. Good job by him. The Americans go out and block the shot. The Norwegians with 3 men in deep keep the pressure on. Christensen to Rath. Rath with Torreson with him as well. And now Ted Drury starts it out. Drury, another guy with good wheels. Drury directing that forward. Johnson unable to get the touch. Norwegians a bit careless to get out. Jakobsen goes back to the front of the net. Shot taken. Richards' drive ends up over the top of the net, but still in. The Norwegians still can't get it out. A great play at the blue line for Moore, and now he chokes it up. And Marius Rath is on the fly. Rath's shot goes just wide. Momentarily, the Norwegian supporters setting their popcorn down and getting on their feet, hoping for a goal. Whoa, one nearly comes at the other end. That got through the legs of Skistad, but trickles wide. That blast coming from Derek Plant. Plant with another chance. Norwegians back in numbers to try and defend. Good forechecking from Plant and Anderson. Not Anderson, rather that's Johnson. Plant, Johnson, and Drury. Two on four. Salton being the second guy, he gets the puck. Now the pass is there. Oh, great opportunity for Knoll. Kept the puck on the ice, and that almost was a goal. Jablonski, who hasn't had a lot of action in this period, has come up big in the last couple of minutes with 3 or 4 excellent saves. Karlstad, he loses out. 3 Americans back. Doug Waite to collect. Waite elects to go to the left side, back to Waite. Doug Waite goes for a skate, spins back the other way, waits for help. The Americans starting to build an attack. Dangerously, Waite gets away from his man, and Beers has to circle back. Beers lays that off. Podine to Waite. Waite will be looking for Gaudreau. It isn't going to happen. Eric Weinrich goes back, being chased. Good job of forechecking by Biltholm. Doug Waite. Waite rifles that around the boards to the left side of the ice where Tony Amonte's waiting. Amonte, he'll go back. The Americans trying to create a flow. Hatcher backhands that off the boards. So Tony Amonte has it back off a Norwegian stick. This pass is too far for anybody, and Kim Sogard has the puck. Sogard gets away from Lazaro. Sogard makes his way to center and fires the puck in. Jablonski unable to come up with it. Whoa, there's a hit from behind. Olsen holding on to the puck. The whistle blows, and there isn't going to be much of a question about the call. Skistad had gotten as far as his bench. The extra attacker was on. The whistle blows, and the Americans will go to the penalty box. Adam Burt with a little bit of WWF wrestling there. He'll sit for 2 minutes. Americans penalized on the play. Beers with the cross check. That went unnoticed. There's an opportunity for Gunderson. Good skate save by Jablonski.
Penalty Team USA, player number 6, Adam Burr. 2 minutes for charging time.
Norwegians with a power play shot from the point. Bad save by Jablonski. Americans trying to kill off the 2-minute penalty to Adam Burt for charging. Torreson throws the puck ahead for Christensen. Christensen slams on the brakes. He's got Barry Richter in his face. He leaves that off. Action coming to the front of the goal. Jablonski down again. The Americans will clear. Salston fires the puck around to the left side. Salston gets the return pass. Gunderson calls for the puck and he gets it. Gunderson leaves it back for Salston. Salston dishes that off to Marius Rath. Rath that can't do much with it. His pass isn't a good one. Whoa, cheeky move by Richter. That almost pays off. Americans causing a lot of problems. Sacco can't quite break through to the puck. Dahlstrom throws it to the far side. Directed to the back of the net. That's too far for Dahlstrom. Jakobsen's backhander goes untouched. Norwegians keeping the puck in USA territory. Adam Bird in the penalty box. Now the Americans break free. Jeff Lazaro trying to get around his man. He gets a shot away. The save is there by Skistad. Puck coming right back to the front of the goal. Skistad not having a clue where it was for a couple of seconds. Good hard work from Jeff Lazaro pays off. The Americans keep the puck in the Norwegian zone. Lazaro and Sacco up front for the Americans on the penalty kill. Puck going off Skistad, then bouncing off Christensen. Going to the back of the goal. That's where Sacco got possession. The Americans taking control with a man down. 2-1 the score. Second period action from Dortmund. The USA goals of Bentoni Amonte and Turcotte. The Norwegian goal from Norstebo in the first period says it all. 2 goals from the US, giving them control of this game. The Norwegians are working hard, but don't seem to be applying the pressure that they were putting on earlier in the game. Doug Waite fires the puck forward. The Americans are back at full strength. Big shot from Podine. Right into the breadbasket. Skistad holds on. Players getting set for the face-off. Well, not set enough as far as the linesman is concerned. Americans keeping it in. Podine behind the goal, being watched by Sulston. He leaves it for Gaudreau. Gaudreau with Torreson going after him. Throws it back to the point. One-timer, the shot is there. Skistad struggling to cover the puck again. Waite and Podine causing all kinds of problems for Robert Skistad. Action to continue in Group B tomorrow. The Finns take on the Czechs. The Germans will have the Americans. The Norwegians will have a day off. A well-deserved day off. They've been working hard, find themselves behind the 8 ball in this game. They've lost 3 already. I assure you the Norwegians won't be laying on the beach in Germany. Shot coming at Skistad. A lot of bumping and grinding for position on the rebounds. Podine and Waite in the corner once again. Gaudreau pinched out by Anderson. Podine fights for the puck and he's got it. Podine still has the puck. Torreson watching him, gives it to Doug Waite. Waite is watched by Sulston. Waite still goes on with the puck. Waite with a spin around. Podine gets a skate on it, but that goes behind the goal. Torreson wraps it off the boards and into safe territory. Waite pushed off by Olsen, but not pushed enough as Waite manages to get it in. Eddie Olczyk goes in and he slams Petter Sulston into the boards. Olsen breaking away for Norway. Olsen throwing the puck forward. Whoa, Bob Beers with a heavy hit right at the blue line. 5 seconds left in the period. 3 seconds with Modano's shot going right into the chest of Skistad again. 1 second on the clock and Christensen goes flying out of the picture momentarily. .1 second remaining in the period. A good period for the Americans. They've scored 2 goals, 2 goals being enough to put them in front. Puck is dropped. The Hooter goes. 40 minutes have been played. Norwegians congratulating Skistad. Jablonski flies down the ice to be the first one off. The only player ahead of him was Modano. Maybe it's a superstition by Jablonski. Whatever the case, the Americans have the lead 2-1 over Norway after 2 periods of play. Skistad has had the majority of the action. He looks confident and calm in his goal. Jablonski at the other end of the ice has just doused himself with about a gallon of water, or a couple of liters if you go by that system. He's now soaking wet and ready to play. The puck is dropped. The Americans in blue will play the final 20 minutes from right to left. The Norwegians in white are going left to right. Beers over to Weinrich. That's too far for Turcotte. He's still going to have a play on it. Turcotte directs it forward. Oh, Modano was flying in on the right side. Going so fast, he was nearly past the net by the time the puck got to him. Are the Norwegians capable of pulling out something here? Marius Rath, one guy who could do it. Whoa, a big shot from him. Jablonski doesn't have a clue where it is. Marius Rath, a very dangerous forward, got that one away. Jablonski, his first real test of the period. That shot possibly coming through Bob Beers. Jablonski not being set for it totally. Has the puck in the end. You've got to wonder if the Norwegians can go with the Americans for this final 20 minutes. They're down by a goal, and the Americans have a lot of depth on the bench. They throw a lot of players into action. Tim Taylor not shy about using anybody that he's brought over from the States. Shot from the blue. Gaudreau trying to get it off the boards. He's unsuccessful and goes back. Now the puck on the left side. Burt forces it out of the blue line, and Dahlstrom has the puck. Dahlstrom's pass is cut off. Bob Gaudreau on his own now throws it in front. Podine unable to get the touch. The Norwegians going for a change. The puck is dumped in and they'll be able to complete it. Puck thrown in front. Adam Burt clears that out of any danger. That puck is off Podine's skate. Back into the hands of Norway. Backhanded into the zone. There isn't a problem with Norway dumping it in, but when they do, they're going to have to take chances. Well, they didn't have to do anything and almost had an opportunity there. Adam Burt deciding to leave the puck in the crease. Finally wakes up and moves it out of any danger. Jakobsen on the right side. Biltholm passes too far. We'll have a whistle. Friendly tap on the pads from Barry Richter to Jablonski to let him know that the boys haven't abandoned him. First mistake was purely accidental. The Americans complete their line change. Norwegians typically like to throw one man in. They really go into a defensive zone, if you want to call it that. But now trailing by a goal and time ticking away, they're going to have to get gutsier and send a couple men in. Sacco and Johansson on the face-off. Power goes back for America. Power playing with Barry Richter. Now Richter has the puck. Richter's pass isn't a good one. Very carelessly given the puck away. Offside's a call. Kim Sogard coming out of nowhere to get in over the blue line just ahead of the puck. We'll have a face-off just over the American blue line. 1992 World Championships, the Norwegians were 10th place finishers. Coach Olsen knows he's got a difficult task to keep his team in Pool A. Want to have a good performance. The Norwegians are hosting the 94 Olympic Games in Lillehammer. The 94 World Championships will be played in Italy. So the Italians also would like to have a good showing. They started out strong with a tie against the Russians, but have let things get away from them since then. Ted Drury going down the right side. Oh, a nice poke check from Anderson takes the puck away from him. Derek Plant being watched by Petter Salston. Plant with a great individual effort. It's around Salston but runs into more trouble, and now Norway are on the attack. Well, I don't know what they were thinking there. Marius Raff holding the puck just a second too long. The Norwegians go offside again. Americans with a 7th place finish in last year's competition in Prague. Come into these games very optimistic of finishing higher than that. Tim Taylor will also be leading the troops for the first time in the Olympic Games. Peterson, the pass coach, turning the reins over to Tim Taylor. Americans looking for more magic on ice and a few more miracles to their 1980 gold medal in Lake Placid. Can they do it? Right now they're more concerned about the 93 World Championships here in Germany. That man right there has had a say in the lead of this game, Darren Turcotte. His goal putting the Americans in front, 2-1 the score. Norstebo started it for Norway. That's how the first period ended. Amante and Turcotte replied in the second. The USA are in front 2-1. Jakobsen to the right side. Torreson head to Olsen. Olsen is taken off the puck. The Americans have possession. Eric Weinrich starting it up. Good move from Bob Beers, lays it up for Modano, who's on the fly. Modano on the left side, his pass goes off Jakobsen. Olczyk keeps it in deep. Modano and Turcotte in there, big shot coming from the blue, that's just wide. Beers flying in from his spot, now he steps up to cut off the Norwegian attacker, and Weinrich has the puck. Eric Weinrich. 26-year-old Weinrich plays his hockey in Hartford. Weinrich again. That's too far for Darian Hatcher. He'll go over to collect it with Johansson on his back. Anderson keeping the puck in at the blue. Puck goes all the way around the boards, back to neutral territory, and the Norwegians will start again. Americans with good man-to-man coverage all over the ice now. Podine fresh off the bench to Gaudreau. Gaudreau looking for Podine again, throws it toward the goal. Skistad with the save. Norwegians happy just to ice the puck. They aren't going to win this game doing that. Team were half as pumped up as their supporters. They'd be walking through this game. Third period action live from Dortmund. Sacco on the draw for the U.S. Sacco loses out. Karlstad can't do anything with the puck in the corner. Finstad gets it out of trouble, and the Americans will go back. Burt finds himself with a man on him. Now there's help. 2 men forward for Norway. That's what they've got to do. Hatcher manages to escape with the puck. He pushes it forward to Amonte. Amonte's going to try and split the D. A great play from him, and goal number 3. Jeff Lazaro. Whoa, what a setup from Tony Amonte. First time the Norwegians get gutsy on the forecheck, it costs them. Maybe I should just shut up. They're caught in deep. The Americans on the break through Hatcher's pass to Amonte. Amonte feeds Lazaro. He deeks Skistad, and it's 3-1. Good move from Ottawa Senator Jeff Lazaro, and now a cool 2-goal cushion for the U.S. Norway really up against it now. 13:45 left in this game. They really need to do something and do it in a hurry. Johnson in there. They can't keep the puck in. Norwegians happy once again, though, just to clear it out. Style of hockey, I suppose, keeps score lines down, but it doesn't do much for the excitement level. Puck off a stick and up into the crowd. Richards, a very hard checking line for the U.S. Travis Richards. Richards fires the puck into Norway's end of the ice. Kept in. Oh, that's off the goal post, and the puck cleared by Norway. Torsen. Little hook from behind. Mike Modano is going to go to the penalty box. The hook was just enough to pull his man onto the backside of his shorts, and Mike Modano will sit 2 for hooking. The Norwegians are going to have to do something with this power play. They've got the man advantage. Olsen is the guy who's pulled down. A lot of times you can give points for a dive. That time he genuinely was hooked on the play. Norway desperate for a goal, trailing by 2 with a man advantage. Turcotte fighting on the face-off. He's got help. The Americans ice the puck. Anderson. Cato, Tommy Anderson gets to his own blue line. He looks like he's in neutral. Come on, let's go. Step it up a bit, boys. They're going to have to do more than this if they're going to put anything behind Pat Jablonski. Will have tomorrow off. The USA will face the Germans. That's going to be a struggle. The Germans are playing very good hockey. Dieter Hagen, the danger man for the Germans, he's off and running with the points. 6 points so far for him in the tournament. Without 3 defensemen, the Germans put in an excellent performance in beating the Finns. 2 defensemen were out due to suspension. The third one was Niederberger. He'd returned home for his dad's funeral. As the play was going down the ice, Doug Waite and Geir Hoff decided to go for a little dance together around the blue line. Doug Waite, Geir Hoff, Weinrich, Christensen, 3 or 4 of them getting involved. Well, I guess the actual partners for the dance competition ended up being Christensen and Waite. They're nose to nose. The linesman trying to separate them. Not really any words being spoken, but a heck of a lot of staring going on. Waite and Christensen will have a couple of minutes to sit down and think things over. Slow build up from the Norwegians. Jakobsen's pass is over 2 lines. Norway will come back for a face-off. Roughing the call on Christensen and Doug Waite. Waite in there to join his partner, Mike Modano. Jakobsen setting it up behind the goal. Norway on the move. Pushed over to the far side. Coincidental penalties, leaving the teams 5-on-4. Dano in the box for America. Norwegians with a man advantage. Players going for the goal. The puck stays along the hash marks. Hatcher getting that long stick of his out to cause problems. Jakobsen trying to set up a pick. That comes across the ice to Christensen. Shot taken. Jablonski didn't have to make the save. It hit Hatcher in front of him. Dahlstrom tied up by Podine. Now the puck comes out. Christensen. It's Paul Christensen. Eric Christensen's in the penalty box. Modano returns, and the teams are both playing 5-a-side. Puck fired in. Norstabo going up. He can't get anything out of it. Laid ahead nicely. The Americans on the move. Shot taken. Good save from Skistad. Dave Sacco momentarily set free. Sacco given the opening right up the middle. Norwegians desperate to come back. An American football-style tackle is put on him by Salston. It gets the job done. Sacco is pulled down. Skistad holding his ground, just taking any angle away from Sacco. Well, you've just missed the penalty shot that Sacco was awarded. Skistad coming up with a big save. It's always nice to see when the goalie does come up with a save on something like this. Sacco awarded the penalty shot as he was pulled down by Salston. Dave Sacco going in on the goal, puts the puck over onto his forehand. The puck is starting to bounce on him. Doesn't really get much of a backhander off. Skistad almost into a full split. Gets the right leg on it, denying him of a goal. Score remains 3-1. Third period action in Dortmund. About the same move we saw Russell put on from the Czech team with his penalty shot, and that was kicked out as well. Plenty of time remaining. If the Norwegians can get a quick goal, we could have a fantastic finish here. Right now they're down by 2 and not looking like they're going to do much. Happy just to sit back and play defensive hockey. Timekeepers trying to get the clock sorted out. The linesman having a word. Puck is dropped. Play continues. Tony Amonte Lays the puck off and goes for a skate in the corner. Sacco, Amonte with the puck. Amonte looking for Richter, cutting through the middle. That doesn't happen, and Sacco keeps it in. Amonte in front, wide open, and around the goal is Lazaro. Lazaro already has one goal in this game, hungry for another one. Pass doesn't get to him. That shot's off the plexi and out of the zone. Howard goes back. Jablonski doesn't give it to Howard. Now he pulls the puck forward. 9 minutes and 48 seconds yet to play in the third and final period. Chip past Amonte, back to the American defense. Richards dumps it in. Americans, all five of them going for a line change. Ed Olczyk's on the ice. Pass gets by him. He gets back quickly and takes his man out. Modano goes back, bumping and grinding with Christensen. Travis Richards is there to help. Here come the U.S. Three men forward, big hit right at center ice. Another hit at the blue line. The Norwegians playing the body well. Oh, a nice little move from Dahlstrom. Dahlstrom looking for Olsen. The Americans doing their share of defense by taking them out right at the blue line as well. Modano, he spun around. Karlstrad is stripped by Modano, and Modano loses out again. Olczyk comes up with a puck. That hits a Norwegian stick and goes all the way back to Bob Beers. Beers plays it off the boards. Mike Modano on the move. Modano with Richards. Ed Olczyk cruising. He's taken out by Olsen. Norstabo fires it in. Saved by Jablonski. Bob Beers. Norstabo follows his shot and causes problems for Beers. Now Beers throws it off the boards to the near side. Turcotte, he flips it into the zone. Team's changing again. Sogard with Jakobsen. Weinrich evades one man, but has another one to deal with in Torreson. Bob Beers. Push forward to Derek Plant. Plant loses out. The defense have to retreat. Eric Weinrich lays it off the boards. Drury makes a swing. He gets a pass from Plant. Ted Drury with a good head of steam. Pass over to number 14, Johnson. His shot is just wide. Plant, Johnson, and Drury. This line never stops working. Rath's pass to 18, Dahlstrom. Dahlstrom pushes over to the far side, and Norway with an attack. Marius Rath directs it to the goal. Puck is off the stick. Christensen winds it around. That's too far for anybody. Now Norway will have to try something again. Marius Rath going back. Rath watched by Johnson. I assure you, these people aren't leaving the rink. They're sort of like nomads. They float around for 3 periods, singing and cheering, banging the drums. They're here to stay, though. Just offside, the pass from Plant was back over the blue line. The Americans bringing it in, creating the whistle. 3-1 the score, the U.S. over Norway. It hasn't been a walk away, that's for sure. The U.S. have struggled right from the beginning. The Norwegians took an early lead in the first period. The second period was all USA. The U.S. have had control of much of this third period so far. Lazaro being the only goal scorer. Darian Hatcher working on Karlstad, throws it back. Gaudreau looking for Podine. Podine fights off Norstabo. That comes to the front of the goal. Unable to get a touch on that was Bob Gaudreau. Adam Burt right on the blue line, standing his man up. Just exactly what you're taught to do as a peewee. Finstad being introduced to the blue line. Quick look at good defense by Adam Burt, staring right into the man's chest, taking him out of the play. Front line changing. The Norwegians completing their change. The action will continue. Norwegians need something in a hurry. Turcotte gets the draw back. Olczek takes his man out. Darian Hatcher fires it down the ice. Norwegians have had their opportunities. They've had their share of power plays. Puck going through, nice shot taken. Over the goal, Jablonski appeared to have the angle taken away anyways, but good pass work from the Norwegians. Desperately need a goal with a man advantage here. Player losing an edge, pass going to the front of the goal. And now Norway bring the puck up. Pass over the blue line. Fake is there. Good poke check from Sacco. Sacco should be able to ice the puck. The referee is in the way. Christensen muscles it back to the point. That's over Salston's stick. The Norwegians destroy themselves and will have to retreat. Richter going back. Richter keeps the puck along the boards. Lazaro is dumped. Two players from both teams in there. Torreson. Sacco comes back to help and he fires it around the far side. Puck kept in at the blue line. Anderson looking for the pass. That doesn't come. Lazaro is still working hard. Good deflection by Sacco. The Americans fire the puck down the ice and go for a line change. Four fresh players on the ice for America. Doug Waite and Bob Gaudreau up front. Waite goes to the back and now Gaudreau shifts up front. Gaudreau putting the pressure on. Dahlstrom getting it into the American zone. Richards battling it out along the boards. Biltbaum comes in to take the puck, throws it back to Jakobsen. Jakobsen directs it to the goal. Jablonski doesn't know where it is. Goes right through the crease and cleared out of danger by Morin. Sogard throws it back, coming up to the 4-minute mark of the third period. 16 minutes have expired, 4 yet to play. The Norwegians running out of time. Throw the puck in, they've got to go hard for it. Jablonski's not going to take any chances. Torreson and Rath going forward for Norway. The face-off will be to the right side of Pat Jablonski. The U.S. in front, 3-1. 2 goals coming, compliments of the New York Rangers. 1 from the Ottawa Senators, if you want to talk NHL terms. Amonte, Turcotte, and Lazaro, the goal scorers. Last result we had from a Group A game being played in Munich was 8-0. The Canadians putting the hammer down on the Italians. Kept in at the blue line by Salston. Bodies flying all over, 2 of them being Norwegians behind the goal, and the Americans break out. Ed Olczek. Olczek trying to split the defense. He's through there. Excellent individual effort, and he lays it off the plexiglass. Olczek doing a lot of work, not making it pay off in the end as he flipped it over Skistad. Dahlstrom up the left side. Dahlstrom still with the puck. A good head of steam by him. That's wide of Jablonski's goal. And the Americans skate the puck out with Bob Beers on the move. Good move by a defenseman there. Beers coming to the front of the goal. That goes through the crease. Modano has a swipe, but he's taken out of the play. Anderson comes in to take Bob Beers out. Beers still keeping the puck in. Beers with a nice move, but loses out in the end. Bears exerting a lot of energy for a guy his size, goes to the bench. Darian Hatcher jumps on in his place. Modano can't find the puck. Norway started out again in neutral territory. That's a bad pass off a skate. And Lazaro throws it back to the defense. Hatcher looking for Monte. He's got him. Defenseman stepping up quickly on Monte as he released the puck. Anderson flips that off Lazaro. Monte on the forecheck. Delayed offsides. Norwegians changing. Darian Hatcher with the puck. Less than 2 minutes to play in the third and final period. Adam Burt, a good move to the inside. Adam Burt makes a swing, throws it to the front of the goal. Amante was cruising in front. It isn't going to happen for him. Good try by Tony Amante. Pulls the netting away for Skistad so he can get up. The net is fixed and we'll have a face-off. Burt's pass being deflected off the side of the goal. Monte being pushed into the net by Torreson. Just over a minute to play here in Dortmund. The USA might possibly have done enough to secure a victory, out in front by 2 goals. Jakobsen takes the hit from Podine, doesn't get it out. Kept in by Richter. Podine looking for Wade in front. Podine grappling with Jakobsen. And another face-off. This time to the left side of Robert Skistad. Skistad has put in a good performance for Norway in the goal. We'll be watching for him to come out. If the Norwegians can get control of the puck in the American zone, why not? They're down by 2 already. Time is ticking on. Waite loses out on the draw. And the Norwegians move the puck up to their blue line, now to the center red line, thrown in quickly by Dahlstrom. The left side, Podine can't do anything with that. Now Podine has the puck again. Podine works it out and all the way down the ice. Not exactly what he wanted to get out of that. Icing the call. Face-off coming all the way back down into Jablonski's end of the ice. We'll see what the Norwegians can do with this face-off. They've been winning them in their defensive zone. This is a critical one for them in the offensive territory. For the USA would give them 6 points and put them up at the top of the table with the Germans. Americans have had a win and 2 draws coming into this game. A loss would be a further setback for the Norwegians. Them and the French would both have no wins in 4 contests. The battle against each other is certainly going to be a struggle between the French and the Norwegians. There's no love lost between them. Ed Olczyk going after Johansson. Johansson's passes and a good one, and Modano has the puck. Modano going 1-on-2 against the Norwegians. Ed Olczyk on the move. Takes Jakobsen out of the play. Modano directs it to the front. Olczyk is there. Olczyk's pass is a beauty. Turcotte with a shot. Skistad keeps the puck out. Driven right back in quickly by Moran. The whistle had already blown. Close call around the goal for Skistad. Excellent pass back from Olczyk. Turcotte stepping in and getting the shot away. Tries to do it again. Karlstad only gets it as far as Moran. He would have had a heck of a time putting the puck into the net there as the net was just about turned around. Players set for the face-off. The puck is dropped. Norway have possession. Salston. Captain Petter Salston lays the puck into U.S. territory. Travis Richards goes for his skate, pushes it to the right wing. That's flipped out of the zone. Oh, a bad bounce for Norway. Two-line pass called as Lazaro thought he was off to the races. Large group of supporters in the building from Norway. An even bigger group of supporters here from Germany. The Germans are very seriously watching this game and watching the Americans. The Americans will be their next opponent. The Germans are on a roll. They've played 4 games and had 3 wins. Their only slip-up was against the Czechs, where they lost all discipline momentarily. 1 second remaining on the clock. Unless something very much out of the ordinary happens, I should be able to feel safe in saying it's going to end up 3-1 for the Americans. There's the buzzer. Jablonski didn't even have his glove on for the face-off. 3-1 the final score of the USA over Norway. A bit of a scrappy performance, but the Americans come away with a victory. They know they can play better, and they're going to have the opportunity to. Plenty of hockey to come on Eurosport.